From baggage claim to pajamas in 10 minutes. Erie International Airport. Fly with ERI.com.
Fly Erie International Airport to Charlotte on American Airlines, your nonstop gateway to the world. Also, we have Breeze Airways flying nonstop to Orlando and Tampa, Florida. A great low-cost carrier providing excellent service to the regional community. Fly Erie International for your travel needs.
Fly with ERI.com.
You have been called
to do good,
to feed the hungry,
to love with action,
to be a light in the darkness,
to love your neighbor,
to teach wisdom,
to walk humbly,
to love mercy,
to care for the least of these.
Will you accept the call?
This is our city.
Our mission.
Visit eriecitymission.org/volunteer to accept the call today.
Welcome to TalkErie.com's Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast. Every day, we tackle the biggest issues that the Erie, PA region faces. Stay informed and involved as we advance the narrative of Erie. Now, here's Joel Natale.
We want to welcome in to the program here Cathy von Birgelen. She is the manager of this entrepreneurial initiative at the Ben Franklin Technology Partners called AgeTech. Hello, Cathy.
Hello, Joel.
How we doing?
Oh, pretty good.
Welcome. We're talking about AgeTech, this big idea contest here. And I'd love to kind of understand a little bit of the background. Why is aging kind of a focus for technology? Like, where is this coming from, you think?
Well, we have in Pennsylvania, particularly rural Pennsylvania, but in Pennsylvania in general, we have the largest demographic of people, senior citizens over 55.
Okay.
Actually, 65 and over. But so we are looking at such a large aging population and trying to figure out how we can help serve them in terms of, first of all, a lot of them in rural Pennsylvania, they want to age at home.
Right.
Senior living places are very difficult to find. The quality of life is better for people, if they can age at home and remain active or mobile, or at least be able to track and monitor their health.
Sure.
So what we did is took a look at that and said, how can we fuel growth in innovation, ideas, ways to make seniors live easier and impact their lives better. And so what we did is we got funding to help us do this, cast a wide net across Pennsylvania. You have to be in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Well, you don't have to be in Pennsylvania, but you'll have to start your business in Pennsylvania.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And now what we're doing is we're trying to build awareness about the senior living, but also senior citizens and their lifestyle, and ways that they can improve their life, and ways that businesses or entrepreneurs or just people even with an idea can help us give them some, opportunities to have a better lifestyle.
I always have to remind myself and other people. Okay, I'm at the end of the boom, right? So I'm technically entering senior citizen, but I have siblings that are well, into what would be seniors. But let's face it, senior living is not like what my parents or my grandparents experience. When you think about somebody, let's say, who's 75 years old, who do they grow up with? The Beatles and the Stones and the Who, right?
And Saturday Night
Live. 100%, right? I mean, the culture was very different, is very different than my parents who grew up with, Benny Goodman or whatever, what have you. And that's just talking about musical things, but the acquiring of technology, the use of technology, You know, the idea that, and I'm not saying that 85-year-olds don't go to Airbnbs or what have you, but yeah, I mean, just their approach to leisure, their approach to even their jobs is 100% different. I'm interested in what might be the ideas that might be out there that you guys are trying to fish out through this big idea contest.
Well, it's actually pretty exciting, and it covers a broad selection of innovations. And, you know, some of the things, like I'll just kind of share some thoughts and ideas. But so monitoring and tracking. Let's say you're aging at home. You might be, particularly in rural Pennsylvania, you might, you know, or out in the counties, you might be, I don't know how far, you could be 50 miles from a hospital or, you know, where, you know, or even your doctor today. And so what you want to do is be able to have that access to information about your health that can help you make quick decisions, easy decisions. Or let's say you have you're aging at home, but your family it wants to keep track and monitor how you're doing,
right?
Because you have caregivers, but they might not be there 24/7. So tracking and monitoring, and that could cover a range of areas, just from you know, just like we do on our watches and our phones and our different types of devices, where you can get information about your heart rate. You can get information about your diabetes. You can get, there's so much in that area.
So beyond maybe having a camera, you're talking more like biometrics.
Yes, biometrics. Yeah, okay. Very good.
Well, you know, I try to close my exercise ring, you know.
And so that's an area. Right. And then we also can go all the way to the most, and particularly in rural, which ag is very big in those areas. Sure. So we're talking about food and beverage too. I mean, food. And, you know, you think about, well, food, what's technical about food and that type of thing. But the foods today that they are developing that are, you know, food is medicine.
Absolutely.
And eating the right food and the right portions of food with the right, you know, minerals and vitamins and nutritions that you would think. So somebody might be coming up with different ideas about how to cook, store, prepare, and serve certain types of foods that would help people that have certain deficiencies, or that might have, you know, be better for brain health, or that might be better for heart health, or that might be better for diabetes. So we are looking across the board from, you know, from, and mobile, everything today is mobile. So, but your mobility. Some people, you know, I'm well into my senior years, and
you would never know it.
Well, thank you, but you know, I work hard at it, and that's what a lot of seniors do today. I mean, they're not the stereotypical person that's you know, kind of sedentary. People are much more active today, or at least want to be. Right. So we actually have companies now. We have Impulse Technology, who has developed some type of mobile ankle apparatus that helps. And you know, you have different types of devices that can help you be more mobile. We have Stand Up, OK to Stand Up, which is a mobile device that it's digital, that I understand is helps people in terms of, you know, if they've fallen, and it's not the same as the other one, but if they've fallen or if they slip, it helps them in terms of what they need to do, and you know, they can check. It's like they're not knocked out, but you know, they can check and see.
Almost like an AED would talk to you while you're doing it. This aid senses that you had a fall.
Yep.
What do you want to do with this?
Yeah,
kind
and
of
check your vitals and things like that.
That's super cool.
Yeah, it is. There's so much going on. There really is.
Is it mostly usually around health or like you say, mobility, or is there things that are kind of, again, more quality of life. I'm thinking about some of the other folks that have, that have been in some of these incubators and accelerators and things. Some of it's like, we've got a new take on coffee, or something like that. It makes me wonder if travel could be a thing, or just some of those lifestyle deals.
Well, we actually
Fitness,
do have products. We're kind of getting some different types of things in now because we're in the open period for application.
Okay.
But just kind of to kind of build on what you're talking about,
Sure.
Joel. Yes, there are people that have games.
Cool.
That have created games, but that are also very good for neural stimulation and brain health and just mental capacity and that type of thing. And some of them are digital, some of them are manipulatives and hands-on. But you could use that in a car, just traveling or with kids or whatever. But I think that the point is some of this stuff is crossover. And it could, some of the mobility thing could be people that have, from an accident or something, at any age. But yeah, we have, tools that can make and improve independence and your life, as well as safety features and functions and things like that help. And then again, when you're remote or you're at home and you have caregivers or somebody, there's the way you can communicate. Health monitoring, all the wearables that we have today, that's exciting. And then, food. I mean, there's so many areas that we're open, and it just has to be an idea.
It's AgeTech. That's our topic here. The Ben Franklin Technology Partners announcing the $35,000 AgeTech Big Idea Contest to drive innovations for seniors. And some examples Cathy's been talking about here is assertive mobility tech, smart home solutions, health monitoring, food and beverage food and you were talking about.
Yep.
Good, good
food is medicine and nutrition and ways that we have discovered through all types of different tools how to make better food, but also supplements and drinks and all types of food that's sustainable and less chemicals. And
well, let's get into the mechanics of the actual contest. So right now you have a call for entries, and do you guys help people out to kind of help them be able to put in a valid application or something like that? How does that work?
Well, we don't in the beginning. We, particularly at Ben Franklin, do not get involved in helping them with their application. Although we do have our portfolio managers out there and our transformations people and our other outreach people, marketing and everything, that do run into people and they talk to them and they give them ideas. But we have a wonderful economic development ecosystem throughout Pennsylvania. Here in Erie, we have SBDC, PennTap. I mean, we have all type. There's so many resources that people can tap into.
So, like by going to the Small Business Development, the SBDC, they could say, "Hey, I like your idea," and they have this contest. Well, let's help you.
And they will help you.
Yeah,
they will absolutely help you put together your idea so that it's in a format that helps us understand the market opportunity. What type of do they kind of understand the need of the target audience? Like, are they really connecting with that? Because some people, they go, I've been thinking about this. I have this idea. I've never formally commercialized it. And some people, just, have had it. And now they realize here's an opportunity.
And you think about this, too. I mean, even if we just said, let's start with 65. And many folks can live into their 90s. There's 25 to 30 years of range there. That's a lot of different micro constituencies that might be an audience for your product.
Exactly.
You may be for that younger, or you may be for that older, with limited mobility where your thing could really help.
Well, across the country, we have a huge senior demographic,
right?
And they want to live better lives. So I think any business, any idea, any entrepreneur, any startup, any type of innovation that you're thinking about can be formalized, working with somebody like an SBDC or working with, even someone else that has some expertise in that area. If we have people that call and say, well, I know I've been working with this, area on aging or something like that, and or they work in a senior living home and say, geez, if I only had something like this.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah. There's got to be a better way, right? And that's how these ideas get started.
Exactly. Yeah. So we are looking for those ideas. And what we want basically is to have you go to our site, fill out an application, you create an application, so you just create an account, and then you get access to the application. You can download it, you can enter and edit and that type of thing. And it just asks you the basic information of what's the market opportunity, who's the target audience, who's your team, do you have a team or an advisor or somebody that's helping you with that. And just kind of a little bit of a business plan outline, we don't, a couple pages. That's all we're really looking for. We don't want something with the plot factor, that's heavy.
I like how you say that. It's like the old New York phone book. Right. Plop.
Yeah.
They used to have these things called phone books, just reminding people.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're talking about. And so do the seniors.
Right.
So we really do try to encourage people to just kind of come to it. And then what we will do is we will have an opportunity, and we have the dates on our website, but basically our key dates are the deadline for application has to be entered by March 27th, so 11:59 p.m. And so, you can kind of work with it, play around with it, get it the way you like it. And then I don't recommend doing it at 11:59, but, especially if you're, out in the rural area, it might take a little longer.
Right, to do the upload and things. And there's some nice prizes, and more than just prizes, there's a lot of assistance, right? Consulting that goes for the winners. Can you talk a bit about that?
Well, I'll talk about the prize first.
Yeah.
Once we have the application deadline and all the applications in, we put it through review. There's certain qualifications. You have to, agree to be able to start your business if you're not located. And we are covering 32 counties, so you have to start it in one of the 32 counties, which we list on the website, and all over the place. It's all over. And so and then we have a review team that will review those, people with some expertise in the area of the industry in terms of aging and technology. And then we will announce the finalists. It could be 5 to 8, depending on how many applications we get. It's a very niche. We've done contests before, which are very broad. We don't really have a niche like AgeTech, but we have done them in the past. We've done ag, we've done art and tech, creative industries, things like that. So, we'll get some finalists. Once we have those finalists, we let them know within 4 days of the deadline. And then it begins quickly. We get them immediately within a couple of days into training, and we do a pitch, because the whole thing is going to end with a finale where you pitch your idea.
And then
to judges, right?
Wow.
So now it's sort of a little bit like a Shark Tank type thing.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's fun and it's exciting and it's work. I'd say there's maybe 5 or 6 hours a week of work for people, or more, depending on what your idea is.
But the return on investment is significant.
Well, the purse is $35,000.
Yeah,
and we have had businesses that have. The judges gave one business the whole amount many times.
All year round, Frontier Home Products and Design has what you need to make your home comfortable and beautiful. Relax on a new timber tech deck designed by Frontier's experts. A new fireplace from Frontier Home Products Fireplace Gallery adds warmth and serenity to any home. Beauty and versatility at Frontier Home Products and Design Center, 4213 Peachtree, East 5th, next to the Bayfront Highway.
Frontier Home Products and Design Center. Discover a new frontier.
PA contractor number PA039007.
Get paid to drive. Start a new career behind the wheel at the EMTA. If you are looking for a high-paying and rewarding career with full benefits and paid training, stop by or apply online today with the EMTA. Plus, EMTA riders can now enjoy free Wi-Fi on new, clean, and environmentally friendly buses to travel all over Erie County. Visit ridethee.com for more information.
Get on board EMTA. Get on board EMTA. Get on board.
Quickfill gasoline is made right here in America. United Refining Company, who operates Quickfill, refines its gasoline from North American crude oil in Warren, Pennsylvania. When you buy United Refining Company gasoline at Quickfill, you keep jobs and businesses in America. And you keep American families strong. You don't need to send your money overseas when you buy gasoline. Buy American-made gasoline at Quickfill. Quickfill, driving America.
You're really looking for something that would boost quality of life, it sounds like.
Mm-hmm. Improve it, help them sustain, help them be able to, be more mobile, be more connected, be healthier, and just make life easier.
You're generating a spark. Seeing who the idea people are out there that could maybe really make a meaningful difference to this particular age group. Before we took the break, you were explaining how the contest works, and once you get picked as a finalist, that's really when the gear starts kicking in, and there's like a big event. You're saying it's virtual, right? I mean, talk about how that event goes and the prizes and so on.
The finale is May 15th, but we'll kind of get to that because we'll build up. It's a process that you build up to. So the purse is $35,000, and we have third-party judges that are not part of Ben Franklin that will be in marketing and finance and in age and senior living and and those areas. And what we do is we will go through and make a final selection of the finalists. We immediately notify them and schedule them within a couple of days of start their training. And the training begins with how to make the ideal pitch. And it goes on with our Julie Bratton, who's amazing. And we actually have it as a webinar, too. And she'll go through and tell you what investors want to hear, what they don't want to hear, how to frame, because you only have like 5 minutes. 5 or 6 minutes, I think it is, to do your pitch. So, don't go in and start going back to the beginning of time, and all that type of thing. So she gives you all of the tips and information to really do your pitch. So that's the first thing they learn. Then we begin to introduce them to their coaches, and they'll have one-on-one coach meeting with our transformations or portfolio managers. It's an opportunity for them to also really see where their idea is and where they are too, because Ben Franklin's always looking for opportunities to invest in our startups too. So that's basically what will happen over a 10-week period. Is they will begin to formalize their idea, work on their pitch, create an investment summary, which is we give to the judges in advance so that they have some idea of what they're going to be judging on, But we don't connect them with judges. There's no connection there. We keep them separate. But anyway, so what happens through that 10 weeks is they'll also we'll help them. We'll coach them a little bit to do a little video, like a 1-minute video short that does a pitch, because they need to learn all different ways of pitching, from not just pitching at the finale, but pitching to their friends and family, pitching to people on social media. So they create that video. We have them share it, and we tell them, get people to view it and get people to show up to the finale, because we also have a People's Choice.
Nice.
So between the $35,000 and the $2,500 People's Choice, where people pick their favorite, so it's very interactive. There's a lot of money there, and you might win the whole purse, or you might win $25,000.
Right.
And somebody might get 10, or they split 5-5. You just don't know.
That's remarkable. And what do people use this money for? Is it for product development? Is it marketing? What?
All of the above.
Okay.
It depends on where they're in their continuum of their business model. If it's still in the ideation stage, then they really begin to try to formalize it. And what they'll do in their coaching too is that we'll connect them to resources and things like that, no matter what, no matter whether they win
usually
or not.
The product people have 3D printed something, right?
Right.
Usually.
I mean, they've prototyped, or if they've been experimenting with different things. But even if it's at the ideation, I mean, it might be they get some money just to go and begin to develop their prototype and their idea, that type of thing, or their strategy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's different ways and different approaches. We also might give them a $10,000 seed grant too to the winner. So, each one, there's a follow-on Techcelerator, which is another 10-week program, which is another pitch program, but that is where they really get serious hands-on learning in terms of their business model and market information. We give them market research and all types of different resources to help them. We bring in subject matter experts that will present and connect them with, and it's pretty exciting.
We were saying, why do this? Well, we're trying to build quality of life. But the whole other side of this is job creation and economic development and, moving that flywheel to grow your region that you're responsible for here in PA, right?
Exactly, Joel. We want to have sustainable enterprises and business growth. That's our end goal here, is always to have some business growth, because what is it that people want? They want jobs, they want wealth. I mean, it's not like, they want to be a billionaire, maybe, I don't know, but people want jobs, and they want things that they believe in, and we want to help fuel the growth of that. So that's our main mission, is to help fuel the growth of business and entrepreneurship.
Yeah. It's pretty exciting. So, what would you say are like next steps? What would somebody, if they want to kind of find out more about this or dabble in, where do you start? Right.
Well, first of all, I would say that I'll just kind of give you some qualifications.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So to qualify, you have to be able to start your business in one of our 32 counties, which we have listed on the website. Okay. And
Erie County being one of them.
Erie County, absolutely. Erie County all the way through center to Harrisburg and York.
Yeah.
So it's a big footprint. I mean, there's some counties in there where there's more elk than there is people.
So if you're from Ashtabula or Chautauqua, you're going to want to be starting this business inside the Northwest PA footprint.
Before, you would not be able to win unless you start your business and you formalize it in one of those counties.
In those counties,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm. So that's a qualification, and those qualifications are all listed. There's like FAQs.
Sure.
And then we also have a plan to commercialize. You have to have a commercialization, which means you're going to take it to market. And that's how we work with you too. We have resources there that can help people in terms of bringing it to market. And then we also, you cannot have more than $1 million in sales. So, I mean, you could be a formal company already.
Wow.
We've had companies that spinned off
Okay.
Like as a little startup, a product, because it wasn't. It was adjacent to their business,
right?
But it didn't fit within their business.
Was that the doggy toy one? Was that one of yours?
That could have been one. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of businesses that happen like that, So, so you can't have more than $1 million in sales revenue, which is never usually a problem, but. And you cannot have won a big idea contest with Ben Franklin in the past, or received funding from Ben Franklin, because we do, seed funding.
Sure.
So those are some of the criteria for qualifications. But then after that, what you do is you go to cnp.benfranklin.org/big idea. And that's everything about the idea. We actually have a video from, it's an informational webinar that we did that there's a lot of Q&A and people attended it and asked us questions. But the nice thing about that is we have Kieran Eatkin, who is a best-selling author called The AgeTech Revolution. And she's also has a platform that's called the Gerontechnologist. And she presented to us, she did a presentation in this webinar for us for 15 minutes. I think she really is deep into the ecosystem of investors in age tech. So she's very dialed into the types of technologies investors are looking for, what they're looking for. She gives examples. So those that are a little high science, high tech, that get that, they'll get some insights from her presentation too. But then we also talk about the contest and have people that attended it ask us questions. So I'm sure some of those questions are going to be things that people ask. So that's on the website. They can, connect to it through YouTube. And then we have the link to the application, like in 3 different places.
Sure.
So as they're scrolling down, they can, apply.
There's a couple from your news release. There's a couple other segments that I wasn't thinking of. Financial and legal tools. That's interesting.
Yes.
Like estate planning, and budgeting, and things.
So lots happening. I mean, that's really. Do you think about those things when you're young? Not that much, right?
No.
You begin to really realize that as you get older, and there's so many different ways to. Today, through technology and platforms, manage your finances, have people that can get access to your, if something happens to you, what happens? Who has access to that information? So there's product that, there might be products out there or ideas out there, people that want to create an app or a platform or just a digital book or, something that is going to be helpful. That could be, a way for your daughter, your son, your, whomever, your caregiver, whoever that might be. So, whether it's financial, health, or, just structuring your will and your wishes and your hopes.
Yeah, where are all the life insurance policies and the investments and
it's
all
here,
those things.
it's there, it's everywhere, right?
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Another one is sustainability solutions, energy efficient and environmentally friendly senior living innovations. That's interesting too. Of just be more sustainable.
Well, even if you're living in your home and aging in place, or you're in a senior living. We want to know if, everybody's trying to improve their energy footprint, the carbon footprint or whatever that is. So we're looking for those ideas. And we're very broad in terms of the net that we're casting in terms of innovation.
I love it. That's
because, again, they could be crossover ideas.
Right. Very interesting. All right, so we're talking about this AgeTech Big Idea $35,000 pitch contest from the Ben Franklin Technology Partners. Again, it's CNP. Go ahead with the website again.
It's cnp.benfranklin.org Erie.com/big idea.
Big idea. Awesome.
Yep.
Anything that we missed here, Cathy?
Well, I think we've covered everything, Joel. Most of the information, if they want more details, we give a lot of detail. Try to, and we have FAQs and we have the timeline, the judging criteria, innovation, management, impact, market opportunity. We talked about that. The finale is May 15th. It'll probably start in the afternoon and end about 5 o'clock, I believe. I don't think we have the times on it yet, but
and it's online. This one.
It's all virtual. They will attend. They don't have to be there. They can do it from home or the office or wherever they're the most comfortable. And we will set them up, so that their tech is working, and we do practice sessions and all kinds of things to make sure that they're real comfortable and that they produce their best presentation.
I have a prediction. I want to throw this out at you. Something tells me that probably some of the best ideas that you're going to come up with are going to come from seniors themselves.
Well, I agree. Yeah.
Because honestly, don't you think that lived experience is going to weigh in? I mean, you think about the classic tinkerer, male or female. They're always looking for a better mousetrap. Can you imagine some woman in their garage saying, "I've got this, space management solution for, and I have arthritis." I mean, so something like that.
I have arthritis, or something modular furniture that's easy to move around, and that if you have a wheelchair or if you have,
I'm not sure a
device.
35-year-old would be down, be able to come up with that idea.
Well, they might,
maybe,
or they might have an idea that crosses over. Like they didn't think about it until all of a sudden they thought, "Oh, there's a huge market for my product," and I thought it was this.
We'll have to see, like
caregivers
who ends up...
too.
Oh my gosh,
caregivers are huge with their ideas because they're the ones trying to help and be helpful and useful and trying to solve problems on their own. Everybody. Has to kind of
think about all the
something.
gadgets that an older person has. Somebody had to come up with the idea, that we needed this.
And we do.
Yeah. All right. You think, I mean, there's so many different things. Well, I'm excited for you guys. I have you done like focused contests before like this?
We have. We've done AgeTech, where we really looked in agriculture, food and beverage. We've done
I remember that one.
Creative industries, art and tech. That was here in Erie. I mean, that was huge. And I've been doing the contests for several years, but we've been doing them for over 20. So
gotcha.
We've had over 250, 60 companies come through.
It's certainly a time, that, it matches the times that we're living in with the aging population.
Yeah, it's very exciting and inspiring.
Well, congratulations. Ben Franklin Technology Partners, Cathy von Birgelen, again, the manager of this, over at Ben Franklin, and this really cool AgeTech. AgeTech contest. Thank you, Cathy. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you very much for having me, Joel.
You've been listening to The Joel Natale Show, Erie, Pennsylvania's daily podcast from TalkErie.com. Subscribe to our show on your favorite podcatcher and get involved by emailing joel@TalkErie.com.